Hello. How are you guys doing? Well, I am just sitting around here waiting for my videos to be uploaded. I currently have 3 videos. People ask me all the time, they're like, how do you get your, and it's late too, it's like 7:30. They're like, how do you get your videos uploaded like 5 in a day? Well, come here, hold on a second, sweetie. Pee-Pee's wanting up on the couch. There you go, honey. Come on, Tucker, you can come up here too. Tucker can jump, but Pee-Pee has to have help under the couch now. I have them uploading on 3 different things, so that's how I do it. And, oh, little Pee-Pee, how are we doing today, peeps? He said, well, I'm doing okay, Dad. And I just fed them dinner and took them out, and they're being very good boys today. Alex got done early, and he and his friend were going out to dinner for sushi. And then, he always gets off late on Wednesdays. And so he called me and he was like, we just got done and we're gonna go to go get sushi. Would you like to go with us? I was like, I would love to go with you, but I'm currently in the middle of uploading these videos. And he was like, well, if you get it done, why don't you head on over? So I may do that in a second, but they've been there now for like a half an hour, so I probably won't. But I may have him bring me some sushi home. I may go to Whole Foods and get some soup and then have Alex bring me some sushi today, because I'm like, they have this roll at the sushi place that he goes to. It's called Blue Sushi. It's so good. And they have a roll called the hippie roll. They have like, actually they have like 10 vegetarian rolls there, and they're really, really good, all of them. And the one that I really like is called the hippie roll, and it's really delicious. So yeah, I'm just waiting for my videos to get uploaded. I was gonna take down the Christmas tree. I still haven't taken down the Christmas tree, can you believe that? But then I was like, well, we're supposed to get a foot of snow this weekend. This is how I think. And I was like, well, maybe it'd be kind of fun to have the Christmas tree up if I was sitting around watching movies this weekend and I couldn't go anywhere. So I was like, I'll take it down next Monday. That's when I'll take it down, next Sunday or Monday. So, been a good day. I got up and I went to go get coffee. And I did my prayers and meditations this morning, of course. And then, Pee-Pee, stop, please. He's licking. Oh, because I had these, I was eating like these pita chip things. And I had them like sitting, I was sitting like in the chair. And I had taken them and put them on like on my lap while I was like eating this hummus. And so he's like looking at them. Hello. How are you? What have you done today? And then this one over here, hello. Hi. How you doing, Tucker? Is he so cute? Where's Boo Radley? He said, I tell you this every day, Dad. I am not my brother's keeper. So, yeah, what is it? He's being so silly. And my stomach's growling. I'm hungry. Okay, so I got up. And I went and got coffee, and then I had to take my car, my new car, back to the dealership today. I wanted to film earlier because I wanted to show you guys my car, like, when it was, but it's dark outside now. I had to take it back because when he, like, handed it over to me yesterday, like, the service shop was closing, and he noticed that the wheels were low, and he also didn't have time to have me have another key made for me. So I took it back in there today. They were awesome. It was like really, really nice service center at this place. So I'm feeling even better now that I got it from, everything about the whole situation from the night that I walked up there to, all of it has just been really nice. Like, it's just been awesome. And I'm loving my car. I'm absolutely loving my car. I'm just having so much fun in it. It was funny because when Alex walked out last night, he was like, that is really big. And I was like, do you think it's like it's that big? And he goes, yeah, compared to your Escape? He goes, yeah, it's like really big. And I guess I don't think that way, but when I was like driving on the road today, it felt that way. I was listening to my audiobook. It was so much fun just driving in that car, listening to my audiobook today. Got my rental back yesterday. They like took care of the rental car for me and everything too. Like when I was there, they were like, we'll just return it for you. And I was like, okay, thanks. And I, called my friend at the rental company, and it just was, everything like went completely the way that it was supposed to. I'm very happy with everything. So So there, I got that all taken care of, and then I ran some errands, came home. This commercial is so funny for these Unstoppables. I could sit and just watch commercial after commercial. It's this woman. Have you guys seen this commercial where she's like dancing? She's like, look, Pee-Pee, it's Purina. 20 days of food over there. He says, I'll have some more food, thank you. Anyway, and then I came home and I took a shower. It was late. It was like, at that point, because I like ran around and did a bunch of stuff, just stupid stuff that I had to do. It was like 3:30 when I got home, and I took a shower, did my hair. See, look, this is like 5 videos later, my hair is. But anyway, took a shower, did my hair, started uploading my videos, started making my videos and uploading my videos, and then, yeah, and then I was talking to Alex for a little bit, and then he asked me if I wanted to go to dinner, and that's been about it. And I've been just kind of like waiting for my videos to get done uploading, which they probably are now. Okay, Pee-Pee, move over, sweetie. Where'd you go? Where's Pee-Pee? There's Pee-Pee. Where's Pee-Pee? There's Pee-Pee. Are you having a good day? Are you having a good day? Who do you love? Give me a kiss. Who's your best friend in the whole world? Is it me? Yep, he's my best friend. He was cuddled so close to me this morning. He's so sweet. One of the things he does is that, like, when, look at this. Are you just gonna stay over there? You gonna stay over there on the couch? Okay. When, Alex leaves in the morning, he gets up and he goes and crawls underneath Alex's pillow. It's so adorable. Okay, let's see where we're at on these uploads. 12 minutes, I still have on that one. 3 minutes on that one. And I can't tell on this one. Oh, because I'm uploading you. Hold on a second. Oh, and this one is done. So I'm gonna get off here so that I can get that one up. And, oh, Pee-Pee, where are you now? Are you over in the chair? You're gonna watch TV? Okay, so I'm gonna get off here and let's look at the Christmas tree. It's not even plugged in. Look at the little Christmas tree. Oh, Christmas tree. Oh, Christmas Pee-Pee. Oh my God, I have to show you guys something. Okay, so where is it? So, you know, okay, I have to show you this first. So, we were sent this picture of Pee-Pee that is drawn, right? Okay. Well, this is a frame that we got at Crate & Barrel for our anniversary. So every year for our anniversary, we buy something to add to the house. So that picture of Pee-Pee is like what we added. Well, Alex was saying, wouldn't it be great if we had another picture for right here? Just kind of like, because we like to stack pictures up. So it's very kind of like that East Coast, you know, house like on the water kind of thing that I love. So anyway, are you ready? Okay. So this is from Amy, and she actually tagged me on this on Instagram, and then she sent it to me in the mail, and it's fantastic. And I said to Alex, I go, oh my God, we've got to go get a frame for this. So, it's from Amy. She said, Peter, I truly hope you and Alex find a special place for this little family portrait. Just know that I painted it while Coffee Cake Swirl, which was one of my favorite, you know, candle waxes, was wafting through the air. I wish you and Alex all the success in the world. Kisses to my little baby fish. Excuse me, my cough still there. And then she put, oh, that's Trishy. Trishy's fishies. Cheers, XO Amy. And let me just show you. So, I will put underneath her information for her Instagram. It is called sabbatical.summer, at sabbatical.summer. And she has your artwork. She has artwork that she does in there. And this is what she sent us. And here, let me take this card out of there. Hold on so you can see it. Do you see it? Oh my God. So it's me with a blue fan holding Pee-Pee. And then it's Alex. He's got glasses on. It looks just like us. And then Boo and Tucker. Is that not so sweet? And I always talk in my vlogs about like capturing like this moment. If this moment could just stop in time. And I looked at that and I was like, this is kind of like us, if we just, like, stopped and... Oh my gosh, she's even got the burgundy Vans on. I didn't even notice that before. It's so sweet. Although I do wonder which one is Boo Radley and which one is Tucker. So if you could let me know that, Amy, just so I know for myself. Because then I can go Boo Radley and Tucker, or Tucker and Boo Radley. But I can't really tell. I think this is Boo Radley on the left, because he's like smaller. And this is Tucker, because Tucker's a little bit bigger. Aren't you, Tucker? You want to come here and be on camera? He said, Dad, I don't love to be on camera. I always get... he kind of consents it. Can't you? You're such a good boy, though. People think you're not around a lot because you're not on video, but you are around always, aren't you? Who's my best boy? Who's my best sleeper late at night? Probably you. Who has the cutest ears in the whole world? Do you want a treat? Do you want a treat? You want a treat? Okay, well, let's get a treat. We'll pull the treats down. Look, treats for Tucker. Okay, well, we're gonna... oh, and treats for Pee-Pee. Where's treats for Boo Radley? And there's Boo Radley. Come here, Boo. Boo loves to be in videos. He said, I'm here for a treat. If we're doing treats, I'm here for a treat. You want a treat? You do? Isn't he so sweet? Look at this little guy. Okay. Well, I'm not going to make these guys wait. We're going to have a treat. Hold on. There's a treat for Pee-Pee. A treat for Tucker. And a treat for Boo Radley. For doing absolutely nothing, which my husband would be pissed about. Anyway, so thank you, Amy. We are going to find a frame. We're going to go look this weekend and find a frame, and that's going to probably go right up there, right next to our Pee-Pee picture. So I'm so excited about that. Let me make sure I'm keeping this so nice. So yeah, it's just been kind of a relaxing day, and then I haven't even near finished my coffee yet. Hold on just a second. Oh my god, I have to show you something else. See, this is kind of like show and tell of the world. So I'm obsessed with the Linda Berry Down the Street Kids books. And I had seen this recommended to me somewhere. I don't even know where. But it's a series, and it's called Unlovable. And it's by Esther Pearl Watson. I want to own the whole collection of them now, especially after I've seen them. And so it's these cartoons, and it's about this girl. I think her name is Tammy. This book belongs to, hold on, I think her name's Tammy. Because when you open it, it says, yes, Tammy Pierce. And it is so, you guys, it is so hilarious. It's about this girl in her sophomore year in high school, and it's called Unlovable. And here she is. This is who it's about, Tammy. Is she not fantastic? Okay. This is like me and every one of my friends. Sophomore Dreamer, Tuesday, August 30th, 1988. So this whole one is about her sophomore year. And then I think the next one is about like her junior and then her senior year. I think there's 3 of them, and I want all of them. Although, I have to say, I bought this on Amazon, and it said, in good condition. I don't know that I would consider that in good condition, Amazon. It looks ripped, but I don't really care. There's Tammy on the cover. I'm not that far in it, but I was reading it last night. I was kind of afraid to read it because I was laughing so hard. And Alex was asleep. Tuesday, August 30th, 1988. So this is like when I would be in high school, okay? I was a sophomore in 1988. So this is legit like when I was in high school as a sophomore. I can already tell this year is going to be the best year yet. Last year, my hair looked home permed because it was. Still is, but doesn't look it. Also, I could never figure out my shoulder pads. Now I know I'm a summer, and I can put makeup on like a model. Sweet dreams to all my hot babes. And then she has underneath here, like, her code as a summer. Do you remember that? A summer, like, whatever your look was? And it says, last year's photo, 1987, and then she put in here, taken without warning. So it's just all these little things. It's absolutely hilarious, right? And then it's about, like, her and her mom. And then it's like, here's this girl, and the girl's, like, super popular. She's, like, real mean to her. Lunchroom nightmare. Tammy, do you have a boyfriend? Uh-huh, I mean, yes. Liar, what's his name? It's, who? Monday, September 5th, 1988. It's Eric. That's stupid. Why did I say that? I hope she doesn't think I'm talking about Eric Burns. Eric Burns? Gross! No, Eric Mars. With 2 R's. He doesn't go here. He is so fine. He goes to a school in Kansas. Boy, Eric Mars has a hot body. You'll have to meet him one day. And she says, bull. And she has totally, like, shoulder pads and, like, one of those sweaters that all the girls... And she's got the State Fair hair, which is basically the bang, the claw, with, like, the hair that's flat on the side. I love it. I'm, like, living for this book. This is totally me and my friends in high school. And then the next page is Eric Burns. There he is. And he says, Tammy, are you going to eat all those chili cheese fries? I don't know, I'm just asking. Hey, give me $1, dickweed. I'm just joshing. Joshing, do you remember people said that? Seriously, can I borrow $1? Eric Burns works at Pizza Trails. He drove by our house and yelled something out the window, but I didn't understand what. Okay, so they always like make these people like real pathetic. And I mean, maybe we really were that pathetic in high school, I don't know. But in Linda Berry's books, her name was Monn. But in this book, it's Tammy, and they're hilarious. And so this is Tuesday, September 6th, when he drives by her house, and he goes, Tammy! And like he shouts something at her, and she can't hear what it is. He goes, he either said, Tammy, are you single? Or Tammy, you're solid. And she goes, hey, Eric, what? Like that. And then in parentheses down here, it says, Tammy, you suck. Oh my God, I'm living for this book. It's so hilarious. So, anyway. The same family's on Family Feud. They bored me. Alright, listen, I'm gonna go get something to eat. I'm gonna get something to eat. And I'm gonna let my husband know that I really want that hippie roll, which is cheap. I mean, it's only like $6 from there, so. And then I'm gonna get some soup, I think, and that's gonna be my dinner for the night. Alright, you guys, I will be back in just a little while. Bye. Okay, I just got back from Whole Foods. I'm gonna put my Unlovable book over here. And I went and I got peanut butter bar for dessert for later. But I wanted to show, this is the mushroom soup that I am like addicted to there. It is so good. And then Alex just got home and he brought me the, here it is, I wanted to show you. This was so sweet of him to do. Oh my God, it smells so good. So this is the hippie roll. I don't know if you can see it. But it is vegetarian sushi roll. Can you see it? And it's so delicious. I'm so excited. So I'm gonna have my mushroom soup and my hippie roll, and I'm going to eat. I had fun on the way to Whole Foods because I was like listening to my audiobook, which I got like 2 hours left of this Hank Green book, and I'm loving it. It's called An Absolutely Remarkable Thing, so you guys should go check it out. And yeah, I'm gonna eat and just kind of relax a little bit. I was watching The Easy A earlier. I hadn't seen that movie in forever. So yeah, that's about my life. Bye. Good evening, or more appropriately, I should say good morning, because it is 5:34 a.m. and I completely crashed out. This vlog is probably not gonna be really long. I wanna go home here in just a little bit. Although I'm strangely awake right now, probably because I got a full night's sleep. This is part of the reason why I don't go to bed super early, because if I go to bed super early, I get up super early. So last night after I showed you my sushi, I sat down and ate dinner. Alex sat with me. We watched the end of Project Runway because we had both watched it to a certain point. And then I had been watching The Easy A earlier, so we finished watching The Easy A. I have forgotten what a cute movie that is. And I have my coffee from yesterday. And then I just brought water too, and it's like raining outside, but I don't know if this is like sleet or rain, because it's 30 degrees right now. And my car is toasty warm. It feels so good in here. And I have my seat warmer on, and I have my steering wheel is heated too, which is really nice. So anyway, after that, we went upstairs and like went to bed. Like Alex was like, I'm going to sleep, and I was like, okay, well I'm gonna lay here for a little bit too. And that was early. Like it was, I don't even know what time it was, but it was early. And I mean early enough that I thought that I would be up by like midnight, you know, that I could, like, if I fell asleep then I could wake up at like midnight and go and film my vlog. And I woke up at like 1:30 and I was like, oh, it's still kind of early. I don't know what I was thinking. And I was like, I'm gonna sleep for like another half an hour. Boo Radley was curled up against my back and it was so cozy. And I was like, I'm gonna sleep for like another half an hour with Boo Radley up against my back. And I ended up sleeping, you know, till 5:15 in the morning or something because I took the dogs out. And it was funny because like Boo and Tucker, when we came back inside, they like turned and like ran right back up the stairs, and Pee-Pee just stood there and looked at me like, "What are you doing, Dad?" I was like, "Pee-Pee, go upstairs, go to sleep with your dad. I'll be back in just a little bit." And he stood on the stairs and he looked at me, and yeah, and then I left. So now I'm vlogging for a little bit, and then I'm gonna go home and probably go back to sleep for just a little bit. Oh, and start the day all over tomorrow. But we had kind of a nice night hanging out. It was this car thing, like starting itself over, freaks me out. I don't love that it does that. Does your car do that? If your car does that, tell me if you get used to it sooner or later. How do I put this on? Defrost on my windshield. There it goes. But anyway, yeah. It's so weird. Like, I was talking about dreams last night and reading this book. Well, I don't really want to ruin it for anybody because I think everybody should read it, but the book by Hank Green that I was talking about earlier has a lot to do with dreams, and it's really interesting. And I was thinking about that earlier, and then I had very strange dreams tonight, very vivid dreams, which I do often, but tonight's were like really vivid. There was something I actually wanted to talk about in the vlog, and now I don't remember what it was. I wonder if we're still supposed to be getting snow this Saturday. Alex does not love snow, and he is like, "We better not get any snow on Saturday." I said, "We're supposed to get a foot of snow." He's like, "Well, I have meetings and stuff to do." So we now have an opportunity to go to Las Vegas the weekend after we would get back from Los Angeles. So it now is possible that we might be going to Los Angeles, Las Vegas, Miami, and Mexico. I don't know. He may just end up going because it's like a work thing for him. Because I don't know that I want to board the dogs for that long. I mean, it's just them staying with Tanya, but I still don't know. I kind of want to just finish this coffee. Coffee's a little, we're down to the end there. It's a little tart at the very end. Oh. I didn't know it was supposed to rain today. I'm gonna pull in here in a second. This little strip mall area and see. Oh my God, you guys, here, I'm gonna show you something in just a second. I wonder if it's open. If I was hungry, if it was open, I would go in there and get something and show you, but I'm not super hungry. But up here is this bakery that my mom and my aunt used to always get rolls from for like Christmas and Thanksgiving and Easter. It's called Taylor's Bakery, and it's fantastic. It doesn't look open, but they have the most amazing donuts too, and cookies and stuff. They have all kinds of cakes in the window. Is that cakes? Yeah. Oh. One second. I must have been dreaming about this song because I have this song stuck in my head. Has it ever happened to you? Woo! I don't know where the weather is. Winter weather advisory until Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Mixed precipitation, snow accumulations of up to 1 inch And the accumulations of a light glaze where portions of central. Oh, I guess we're in a winter road. Saturday. Okay, see, they said this is what happens in Indianapolis. They said this is not like an attractive look. They said 8 to 12 inches earlier, and now they're saying 5 to 8 inches. By Saturday, they'll end up saying like 1 to 3 inches. Is that the last of the snow that we're supposed to get? We're not supposed to get a bunch of snow anymore. So anyway, I don't know if you can see, but here's Taylor's Bakery. It's been around here forever. Look at those cakes. Do you see those cakes in the window? Oh, there's somebody in there working. They open at 6:45 a.m. So if you want to go get your donuts, you can go get your donuts at Taylor's Bakery at 6:45 a.m. I remember when I was growing up as a kid, we used to get snow like all the time in the winter. Like I walked outside tonight to let the dogs outside, and like most of the snow was melting. I mean, there's still quite a bit of snow outside, but most of the snow was melting, and probably because it's raining right now. But, you know, even though it's 30 degrees outside, which you'd think it would just freeze over the snow. What's interesting about that is that when I was growing up as a kid, I remember there, like, always being snow outside in the winter. I mean, like, from the end of December through the beginning of March, like, I remember it just always being snow. Like, always. And we got a lot of snow days. You know, now it's interesting because I think, like, if I understand it correctly, they build snow days, which is interesting to me because it would have made more sense to do it back in the day, to build snow days into our schedule, which they never did. And I don't remember having to make them up either. I mean, I don't remember, like, you know, if it was like, if we got 5 days of snow days off that June 1st, we ended up going to June 6th. I don't remember any of that. Maybe, but I don't personally remember that. And then I remember, like, as I got older, like, I mean, my 20s and 30s, like, friends of mine, their kids, if we would have snow days, they had to make them up. Do you guys, is that where it is where you are? Or, like, I don't know, but anyway, I remember that. That they got flex days, but then, like, past the flex days, if we got so many snow days, they had to make those up. And then now what they do is they, like, build snow days into the schedule. So you get so many days off, and in fact, it's like by a certain date, like, if you haven't used any, like, snow days, the kids get, like, a day off or something. Which is weird to me. Is that weird to anybody else other than me? It's weird to me. I mean, I understand the whole idea behind that. I don't know, and I'm not, you know, I'm obviously not thinking about that from a minute. My nose is driving me crazy, and that has not happened in a long time, but I trimmed my beard on Tuesday night. And it's driving me crazy. But I mean, I know I'm not thinking about that from an administrative point of view. I'm thinking of it more from like, you know, like a fun, like, snow day point of view, obviously. But it still is weird to me, you know, like... I remember a couple years ago, we got a bunch of snow days, and the only reason I know this is because we used to have a school teacher that lived across the street from us, and she would say that. She would say, actually, I think we have a school teacher that lives across the street from us now in the same house, but I don't know her really well. But this other teacher that we did know, like, we were friendly with her as a neighbor, and she was talking about how, like, they had to go to school, like, an extra week to, like, make up all of the days, because, like, past the days that they had built in, they had, like, like, a bunch of other days that they had to make up. And I can remember her being like, we have to go to school a whole extra week, which now is interesting, you know, because, like, summer is shortened for kids, which I hate that summer is shortened for kids anyway. I mean, when we were going to, I mean, I think about it like, you know, it's interesting because, like, when I was going to school, like elementary and junior high and high school and stuff, you know, we would go to school till, well, we were always out by Memorial Day because, like, that's a huge day in Indiana. Like, Memorial Day is huge in Indianapolis. So I remember always being out by Memorial Day. Because of race day weekend and stuff, it's huge in Indiana. And then we were back in school, I think the third week of August was when we would go back. But, you know, like, with my dad and my mom growing up, like, they went to school, like, they were out before Memorial Day. And a lot of the private schools were like this here, too. Like, they're out before Memorial Day, and then they didn't go back to school till after Labor Day. So they had, like, 3 whole months of school. And there's one private school here in Indianapolis. I'm actually getting ready here to pass it in just a little bit. It's, like, probably the most affluent private school, and it's been around in Indianapolis. It used to be a boys and a girls school, and now it's a co-ed school together. Like, back in my mom's days, it was 2 separate schools, Park Tudor, and it was Park and Tudor back then. But like, I think they have, like, they don't go to school until after Labor Day, and I think they start, or they're done before Memorial Day. But then I think they get, like, 2 or 3 weeks at each holiday too. Like, I think they get, like, you know, fall break, I think it's like 2 weeks. Like, the holidays, I think they get, like, 3 weeks. I think spring break, they get, like, 2 or 3 weeks. Like, they get extended to period, because a lot of these families travel for extended periods of time, you know? And so they always have these long breaks. And that school is interesting. It's like those kids end up going to, like, incredible schools. I knew this family that I was friends with, that their kids went there. And I said to this kid one time, their son, I said, like, he decided that he was going to go to the University of, where's my fanny pack? I need my lip stuff. University of Colorado. He had gotten in. He was going there. I think he was, like, a sophomore there when he was like in his 2nd or 3rd year there. And we were talking. And I said, and his sister went to UCLA. And I said, how did you decide that you were going to go to University of Colorado? And he goes, well, I always just wanted to go there. You know, it was like my dream school. And I go, well, where else did you apply? And he looked at me and goes, what? And I go, where else did you apply? I didn't apply anywhere else. I go, you didn't apply anywhere else? He goes, no. I go, why not? He goes, I mean, they worked, you know, so hard with us on, like, knowing that, like, getting the grades, getting the scores that we needed to get in there, that I knew I was going to get in there. And I was like, okay. And I said the same thing to him about his sister with UCLA, and he was like, it's the same thing. Like, she knew that she wanted to go there. She got the grades to go there. You know, like, they just they work for you to get into your dream school. So it's not like them missing class, like, was keeping them from getting what they needed, you know? Who knows? Different world. It's now starting to snow, like big chunks of snow. Here's actually Park Tudor up here. It's a gorgeous campus. It's all like fenced in. They have an apple orchard on their campus, and in the fall they like sell their apples and apple cider and stuff, and you can go in there. My mom and I used to go there after church sometimes when I was a kid growing up. It's beautiful. They have like a soccer and a rugby field. The buildings are all old. They've been around forever. It's a gorgeous school. The kids are like bilingual by like 5th grade. Like maybe trilingual. They all of them learn Spanish and English like going into kindergarten. They learn both languages. And then I think like by 5th or 6th grade they have to pick like a 3rd language. We actually have quite a few friends of ours whose kids go there but are in elementary school. I think sometimes about, like, my mom really wanted me to go there, and my dad really did not want me to go to a private school. He wanted me to go to a public school. And I think sometimes about, like, how I would have turned out differently, you know? There was a high school here in Indianapolis called University High School, and it's very artsy and progressive, and their attitude towards learning and individuality is just really, it's inclusive, and they're just a really cool school. Had I gone to a school like that, I think I just would have turned out so different, you know, like, you know, it's a hard question for me because I'm such a believer in the fact that addiction is predisposed most of the time, not always. But I believe that, you know, addiction is predisposed in a lot of people, meaning that genetically I was an addict before I ever picked up. And, you know, if that's the case, then it wouldn't have really mattered where I went to school, except for the opportunities that I would have had there, you know, like, or maybe it would have made a difference. I don't know. You know, I sometimes wonder, like, would it, and then I wonder, well, would it have come out when I was 40? You know, like, maybe I would have, you know, done really well in high school and been around different people. And so my drinking and using wouldn't have come out then. But then would it have come out when I was, like, you know, working somewhere in my 30s? Or, do you know what I mean? Like, I know, like, at some point it would have come out if I truly was predisposed to be an addict or an alcoholic. But I don't know, it's weird to me, you know? Okay, look, did you hear the car? Like, this is what's so weird. Now watch. Why does it do that? It freaks me out. I don't know that I love that yet. So, I don't know. I know people struggle with the idea. It's like every time I talk about addiction in videos, it doesn't happen so much on this channel as I would say on my, like, my Peter Monn channel. Whenever I talk about it, there's always a couple people in there, and they don't really say it in a negative way, but they're like, you know, they just are such believers that addiction is a choice, and you know what you're doing before you pick up, and all that kind of stuff. And that's true, right? And, like, I'm not going to get into, like, you know, an analogy of, well, it would be somebody that was it's very similar to somebody that's growing up diabetic, right? And, I mean, you know, there are juvenile diabetics that grow up diabetic, and they know what they can eat and what they can't eat. I know somebody out there is really pissed that I'm using this example right now. I'm just kind of pulling this out of my ass, but it is similar in some ways. You know, we just don't educate about addiction as much as we would somebody. You know, we don't feel sorry for somebody that is predisposed to be an alcoholic or an addict in a way that we would feel sorry for somebody that is diagnosed as a juvenile diabetic, right? Okay. We're not sympathetic towards the addict or the alcoholic. But in a similar way, you know, somebody that is diagnosed as a juvenile diabetic, like, they have to eat a certain way. And when they don't take, you know, care of themselves, things happen. It's very similar to that with addiction. And it's just always interesting to me when people want to fight, like, that argument, when they want to say, like, it's not a disease. I'm like, you're not challenging me on the argument. I don't know if people understand that or not, but you're literally challenging the American Medical Association. I mean, we're not talking about Hardee's or McDonald's, okay? We're talking about the American Medical Association has deemed it a disease, you know? And that it has 5 identifiable, you know, points. Oh, it's gonna stop, hold on a second. And, you know, that the disease of addiction has 5 identifiable points that make it a disease just like any other disease, you know? From being, you know, having signs and symptoms to being progressive to being terminal if you continue to use, you know, it's similar to any other disease. I mean, this isn't just like they just sat around one day and go, well, I guess addiction's a disease, let's just call it that. I mean, it wasn't like that. I mean, this is like after years and years of study, you know, and things like that. And then when you look at somebody like me, who is just riddled with it, you know, like, I have it, you know, on my mom's side a lot, but directly from my mother, but also from other family members on her side. And then from my dad, you know, on my dad's side of his family, you know, not my dad necessarily, but behind him, you know, like, I'm just riddled with it as well. So I have it from both parents, you know, from both sides. And, you know, it would be similar to somebody that had a family history of heart disease on both sides. We would be very concerned about them, you know, that they were at high risk for heart disease. It's the same thing. And I think we can ignore that and we can act like it is what it is. And I'm not using it as a blame game thing. Like, I totally understand people's lack of sympathy. I get it, right? And people saying, like, well, it's a choice and you don't have to pick up and use drugs. I absolutely agree with that statement. Absolutely agree with that statement. I don't blame my using or my addiction on anybody. And I can tell you that I am one person that before I ever picked up, I did know that I had a family history of addiction. You know, I'd seen it in my mom. I knew that she drank excessively. You know, with other family members, I knew that it was, you know, like a problem. I knew that. My parents even talked to me about that, and yet I continued to choose to use anyway. So, I mean, I understand people's points of view with that. And, but I'm also not an addict or an alcoholic that blames the disease, if that makes sense. Like, I don't even know how to talk about it like this way to help other people understand. I don't blame the disease on my problems in my life. I think it's important to educate yourself on the disease. You know, the other thing is that, like, I think people misunderstand that they think that the disease is the drinking or the drugging, and that's not. The drinking and the drugging is a symptom of the disease. The disease is inside of you. The drinking and the drugging is how it plays out in your system, right? So all of these other behaviors that we have as addicts and alcoholics come out long before we ever pick up. So that's where you see the addiction coming out in, you know, children and things like that. And, always surprised when people like want to get into that whole line of discussion and fight on whether it's a disease or not. Like, you know, when it comes right down to it, if somebody was like sitting in front of me and they're like, you're never going to convince me that it's not a disease. It's not a disease. I don't believe it's a disease. Okay, like my response to that would be like, okay, you believe what you need to believe. I don't really care. I'm not going to argue with you about it. Let's figure, like, you know, like if we're having that discussion, we're obviously having that discussion because it's somebody else's choice, because of their choice to use, how it's affecting their life, or having somebody in their life that it's affecting, right? Like, we're not just having that conversation randomly. So what I would say is, believe what you want to believe. If it's really important for you not to believe that addiction is a disease, I think that's great. I'm not going to try to convince you otherwise, but what do we need to do to help the situation? Like, to help the addict or alcoholic that you have in your life, you know? Or if you don't believe that that person's an addict or an alcoholic, like there's a lot of people that don't believe in that. They just believe that somebody's making really poor choices. Okay, well, what do we need to do? Like, whatever label we put to it, whatever name we call it, isn't really that important to me. What's important to me is saving somebody's life. Like, what do we need to do to help them save their life? Like, that's what's important to me, you know? I don't want to hear about one more person that's passed away, you know, or overdosed, or died, or, you know, ended up, it's all of it so sad to me. And then people want to start splitting hairs about stuff. I'm just like, I'm not. It's just not worth it, you know? Do you know when you kind of can not tell if it's like icy out? Like, that's what it is tonight. Like, I can't tell if it's just like wet or if it's icy. My husband will be getting up for work in 11 minutes. He'll be like, where did you go? I tried to wake him up a little bit before I left because I was taking the dogs out, so I could be like, babe, I have to go vlog. I woke up late again. But he was like so sound asleep and looked so sweet. I didn't want to do that. Oh. That MCL cafeteria back there, which is like, is that a chain or like just an Indiana thing? I don't know, but we used to go there when I was a kid, and my grandma loved to go there, my mom's mom. And my mom would say, I'd be like, my mom was probably hungover half the time that we would go there, but I would say, I love to go there with my grandma, okay? And I would say, this is, like I said, my mom's mom, and I would say, where are we going to eat, Mom? And my mom would go, oh, MCL, you know your grandma loves that place. And I'd be like, why does grandma love MCL so much? And she'd say, because she can pick out her own food. And she would just make so much fun of it. But my grandma would go through the line, you know, and you could get like, you know, I don't know, like you could pick your own food. It was like MCL cafeteria. It's like a cafeteria. But I loved it as a kid because you go through there and you could get like, you know, fried chicken and then like mashed potatoes and like different vegetables, and it'd come in like little cups, you know, and like glass cups. It was nice. And at the end they always had like the pie, and I love pecan pie. Oh my god, pecan or pumpkin pie are like my two all-time favorite pies. I'm like more of a pie person than a cake person. Like back in the day, I used to ask my mom to make me pies for my birthday. Sometimes because my birthday's in the summer, I'd ask her to make me like a key lime pie or something like that. Now my mom was not a baker. She couldn't bake to save her life, but she could make a really good pie. She was really good at like the pecan pies and well, more like like the key limes. What's the other one? Lemon chiffon. She was really good at those kind of pies. Oh my god, a Hardee's. I might have to go through and get some hash browns. Oh my god. I love the hash brown, or I love the Hardee's breakfast sandwiches so much. Did you hear my voice go real high pitched when I was excited about the food? Oh my Lord. And then I don't know why, but for my 18th birthday, which was also the day, I mean, I remember being, I don't even know what we did the night before, honest to God, but, so, one of my best friends from high school, she's a year behind me, she and I had the same birthday, and I don't remember what we did the night before, but I was hungover, like hungover. I was so hungover, and I remember we went to MCL. I don't know why, but like me and a bunch of friends, we went there for brunch. It was also like the day that I came out. It was my 18th birthday. And I remember eating at MCL and being like so sick to my stomach. It was such a weird summer when I look back on it, you know? It was like such an I think it's really like your summer between your, well, first of all, I think your summer between your junior and senior year is your best. I think it's like the most exciting summer. Because you're going into your senior year, and so like you're not going anywhere yet, right? You're not leaving. But then at the same time, you kind of just gonna like hang out and do stuff for fun. You know what I mean? Like be with your friends because you still got your whole senior year ahead of you. You're like old enough to like, I don't know. It's just like that, you know, that summer. But that summer between like my senior year, my freshman year in college, like after we had graduated, was really kind of like a sad summer. Like I felt like it was like the whole summer of like saying goodbyes. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, it was so weird. Like, I remember graduating from high school and, you know, our graduation was not at our high school. It was actually at Deer Creek, which is now, it's called something now. Somebody else bought it out. It's this big music amphitheater, and it was called Klipsch for a while. So if you live in Indianapolis, like, I graduated at this place called Klipsch. Like, that's where my graduation was at. So, the last day that we had high school, I remember leaving school that day and being like weirdly sad. Like, and I was not somebody that loved school, you know, like I just didn't. I was bullied and whatever. But like I very much had a realization with quickness that these people that I had gone to school with for 12 years, so, you know, like most of these people I had gone to kindergarten all the way through high school with. And there were a lot of people that I liked. I mean, it wasn't like every single person I went to high school with was this horrific bully. It just, that wasn't the case. There were a lot of people that I liked. I have this sudden realization that, you know, I was never going to see some of these people again. And the reality is, and this is really crazy, like I think about this every once in a while, like, you know, when I'm on Facebook or whatever, there are some of these people that I'm 46 years old and I have not seen them since the day that I graduated from high school. Like, that is so strange to me, you know? People that I went to school with every single day. A couple years ago, I think it was like 2 years ago, I was on Facebook and I started seeing all these people post this stuff about this girl that I had gone to like literally elementary, every grade in elementary, junior high and high school with, and she had like died of some kind of cancer. And I just remembered her, like, in high school, like, walking through the halls, and I remember, like, at one point, like, we rode a school bus together. I think that was, like, junior high, and it was just so sad to me. I was like, I have not seen this girl in, like, 20-some years, and, I mean, it's just so weird, isn't it? It's like, you know, she had a life, and a marriage, and a career, and kids, and all of this, and, I mean, the last time I saw her was walking through the halls of high school. But I knew that day, like, everything was going to change. It was so weird for me. Like, I remember, like, vividly, like, thinking to myself, everything's going to change, you know? And, I'm never going to see these people again. And I had kind of, like, this weird, sudden sadness about it. And, know. You know, it's so weird looking back on that. And then, you know, that summer I had, what is this truck doing? I had a couple friends of mine that, like, were, they had things they had to do that summer, like camps that they were part of. So they were gone. Like, I mean, I saw them like the first 2 weeks of summer, and then that was it. Like, they had like early admission camps and things like that at their universities, and they were gone. Like, I didn't see them again. And then there was like a group of us, there was like 4 of us, that we called ourselves the Red Wine Girls. Because we were obsessed with that song by UB40, that Red Wine. Red wine. You remember that? Because we used to drink this Boone's Farm sangria, and that was what we drank that whole summer, and we called ourselves the Red Wine Girls. And then my friend had a fake ID, and we would have her go buy us all this Boone's Farm. Anyway, that's a whole other story. If you want to hear it, let me know. But, like, it was the 4 of us that hung out that whole summer. And then, right before the summer was over, 3 of them, well, it was, I guess, kind of 5 of us. 3 of them went to Indiana University, and it was just me and my friend. And she had a boyfriend, a serious boyfriend at the time. And it had graduated a year ahead of us, so he was kind of like already settled into his routine and stuff of what he was doing. And I remember when they left, like, it was so weird. I've talked about this on here before. You know, we all went over to their house that last night, and we're sitting around in their bedroom and stuff, and these were my friends that were twins, and it was. And then, I think I was like the last one to leave, and I remember like we all walked, because like her mom would always be sitting in the kitchen, like reading the Bible and stuff. Their mom would be. And I remember I walked, it's getting kind of icy, I think I'm gonna head home. It kind of has that sound to it, you know what I mean? That sound just like ice. But anyway, which is interesting because I don't see any trucks out like salting the roads. But I remember walking out to my car and just being like so filled with sadness, like it was over, you know? Like it was like 4 years, 3 or 4 years, you know, the best years of my life. I mean, honestly, that was how I felt. Like, not when I was in school, but like out of school, like those girls saved my life, you know? And it was over. It just was like that, it was over. And I remember just being like, so kind of weirdly just, I don't know. I always felt like I was being left behind, always, you know? In many situations, but like that was just kind of like to this day I have that feeling, you know, like. And then I remember, you know, a few years later, well, that summer I started going out, and I became friends with a lot of people, like really quick, like in the gay community in Indianapolis. And I was like real friends with like all of these like popular guys that would go out, and like everybody knew them, and you know, and at that time Indianapolis was really centered around this whole kind of like drag community, and you know, like I like immediately kind of became friends with these guys that were like, everybody knew them, and they were like, it was like the popular clique, you know, the gay community. And I had never been part of that before. And then, like 2 years later, like it was really fun for 2 years, you know? And then my friend moved to Louisville, and another friend moved like to Florida, and like they all moved like the same month. And I remember like helping my friend get his car, like packing his car up to move to Louisville. And I just was like so sad again. It was like that same situation of like when my friends were going off to college, you know? And I just felt like I was being left behind. It's just weird. It's just weird. And now it's weird. I'll tell you what's weird about it. It's weird. This truck is literally just doing, oh, he's doing salt. Oh, I get it. Okay. I was like, he's just doing circles around that entrance. You know, now it's weird is that, like, I'm 46 years old, and like, there's so many people from my past I haven't seen. And, you know, honestly, like, I feel like I'm, like, the only one that, if you feel the same way, like, let me know in the comment section below. But, like, I feel like when I say this to people, you know, like, it's so weird to me that I haven't seen somebody in 20 plus years that I was so close to. Other people are always like, really? Like, I don't really think much about that. And I'm like, I don't know. It's weird to me. It's like, one second somebody meant so much to me, and then the next second they're just gone from my life completely, you know? I think the other thing is that when you live in the same city too, you know, like I mean, I've lived in Indianapolis my entire life, except for my first 4 years. I lived in Chicago growing up that I don't remember. And, you know, I've grown up here, and this is all I know. And, it's bizarre to me, you know, that, like, everybody's moved away, and I've stayed here. I sometimes think about, like, when Alex and I moved to Florida, you know, like, that's gonna be so weird that it'll be like, okay, I'm the one moving away at that point. But, I mean, who's really here left anyway, except for, I guess, Tanya and my cousin Caroline, you know? And Tanya at some point will probably move. All of this, you know, what I'm really talking about, I guess, is just like getting older and change, which is really strange, you know? I'm not sure I ever will get used to it, I guess. Because just when I get accustomed to something, it seems like it changes again. It changes again. I used to be somebody that was like totally resistant to change. I'm not that person anymore. You know, like, I know that change happens. I know that change is a good thing. You know, I think sometimes it's uncomfortable for us, but I think it's inevitable. I don't fight it. I'm not real resistant to it anymore. You know, I'm just like, okay. But I don't like it, you know. I don't know. I've had a tooth that has been hurting for like a week now. I've got to get into the dentist. That was random, wasn't it? Well, there was like a billboard for a dentist. That's what made me think that. I sometimes think about that day that I graduated from high school, you know? Not the day that I graduated, but the last day of high school. I think about that, you know, like seeing people in the hall. And I can remember people that I hadn't, you know, seen in forever, you know, that I wasn't even like that, like saying to me like, well, have a good life, you know, things. I mean, it was like that, like people said that, you know, and I look back on that and I think, I wonder if I had known what I had known, if I knew then what I know now about my life, would I still make the same decisions that I had made, you know, to end up where I ended up? I don't know. I don't know. It's weird. In the movie Prince of Tides and in the book Prince of Tides, oh my god, the camera fell forward and I was almost done with it too. So I'm finishing this up right now, but in the movie Prince of Tides, which is based on the book, the same name, there's a line at the very end of it when, Nick Nolte is, I was like trying to remember who it was, but it's Barbra Streisand and Nick Nolte. and he's driving home, and if you've never seen the movie, it's about, he comes from like North Carolina, I think, South Carolina maybe, and his sister is an artist, and he's like a football coach, and she lives in New York, his sister lives in New York City, and she's like tried to kill herself, and so he has to go up there to help out with it, and her psychiatrist, who's played by Barbra Streisand, really like wants to talk with him and like meet him, because like if she can talk with him and understand what happened with them growing up, then she thinks that she can help his sister. And it's a phenomenal movie if you've never seen it. Like really, really phenomenal movie. And there's a part at the end of the movie when he is driving home, and he's talking about how every day he drives over this bridge, and I think Barbra Streisand's name, I haven't seen it in forever, so if I'm correct about this, I have a pretty damn good memory. I'll just say that. But I think her name is like Lowenthal or something, Lowenstein or Lowenthal or something like that. But anyway, he drives over this bridge every day, and he's like Lowenstein. And then he says to himself that, you know, like, if for every man there were two lives, you know, like, if for every one of us out there, you know, like, if we could have two lives to live, what would that look like, you know? If we could take two different roads, not just one. And I think, you know, there's a lot of us out there that, I mean, I think, you know, for each of us, there's a side that wanted a kids and a family and, you know, all of that, and another side that wanted, like, this career-driven life, you know? And sometimes, I know a lot of people that have both, and I know a lot of people that have made choices to have one or the other, you know, because they didn't feel like that was a reality for them to have both, and, or, you know, a lot of people want to live in the country and in the city, you know? I think it's, a lot of us have made certain decisions, you know, that have impacted our lives, and so it's like, if each of us had two lives, what else would be our alternative? And I think it's an interesting question, and I think you have to ask yourself, if I wasn't living my life right now, what would I be doing differently? Like if I was living a complete opposite life based on my choices? And are those things I want to be doing, and can I implement those in my life? You know, maybe it's not that you move somewhere, maybe it's that you travel more or something like that, so. Yep. Alright, well listen, I'm going to get off here so I can go home. It is now almost 6:30 in the morning, and I'm probably up for the day, so I might go back to bed for an hour or two, but I'm probably up for the day. So anyway, I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.